Perfect.
Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Fantasy Football live stream on YouTube with me, Joe Pisapia. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you can ask a question, who to start, who to sit, who to trade, or just a life question. Again, we're here full service at Fantasy Pros. Whatever you got, if you got questions about food, music, movies. I did see the Eternals. I'll give you my review if you care about that too. I have a few days that I was off, but off meaning with your kids where you're out there taking a trip with them. Not the same as vacation. Vacation to me is I'm out on a hammock somewhere and someone's bringing me margaritas every half hour. When you're out with your kids on a vacation, which is a trip, it's a little different, but I'm a little refreshed. I feel good. I'm ready to go today. And hopefully you've got your questions ready to be answered. In the meantime, before we kick things off here, I want to remind everybody about our sponsor, and that is Stat Hero. Did you know that 85% of people who play daily fantasy sports lose? That doesn't seem like a good number to me. It's really surprising, isn't it? The game is rigged against you. You're playing against thousands of other lineups, not to mention experts who have more tools, more time, and more lineups probably than you do, and you don't stand a chance. Introducing the first ever daily fantasy sports book, Stat Hero. Stat Hero puts the player in control and winning within your reach. Here's how it works with Stat Hero. It shows you their lineup and it dares you to beat them. It's you versus the house in a head-to-head fantasy matchup. You name your stakes, winner take all, and you have the advantage. Stat Hero is showing you their lineups ahead of time, and no one else does that. You are in total control. Stat Hero is DFS the way it was meant to be, one-on-one. So play Stat Hero today, right now, and change the odds in your favor. Go to stathero.com and sign up for free using our promo code FantasyPros on your first deposit to get a 100% bonus match. What do you have to lose? That's stathero.com, promo code FantasyPros. And don't forget, too, we've got a very cool giveaway, the signed Chris Godwin Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey, courtesy of our friends at pristineauction.com. Basically, you just got to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which if you're watching, you might already be. So guess what? Go to fantasypros.com/contest right now. And if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe. And then go to fantasypros.com/contest and you can get entered to win that Chris Godwin autographed jersey. We'll announce the winner at the end of the month. It's a perfect thing right after Thanksgiving. Right before Christmas, you get a Chris Godwin jersey that's signed. You can give it to somebody as a gift and you've saved yourself some shopping, or it's a gift to you because you deserve it. You're important and people like you. That's right. I like Chris, who doesn't like me at all, but he is happy to see me regardless here today. So we are back and answering your questions again. You can't ask a question unless you're a subscriber. So go subscribe and let's kick things off here. In case you missed it too, this just came about, 5 minutes ago. Tua's not playing today. Great. So now all my Jalen Waddle shares and Mike Gesicki moments and all the things that I was very excited about playing in DFS today, along with Tua against Houston, down the drain. So if you're in Superflex, make some changes. I mean, Jacoby Brissett's going to play. It's not that you can't play Gesicki and Waddle. It's just less fun now because the numbers were better with Tua than they were with Brissett, but Brissett's capable enough. You're probably not taking Gesicki out. You're probably not taking Waddle out, but Tua being out, another quarterback gone in a tough week of Superflex. What are you going to do? Let's start things off here on a good note with our good friend Ryan G. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Ryan. Full PPR, Gaskin or Darrell Williams. Well, here's the thing. Now that we've downgraded quarterback to Jacoby Brissett, and I know it's not like a significant downgrade, but it's a downgrade, let's be honest. I'm starting to lean towards the Darrell Williams side. So right now, prisoner of the moment that I am, I'm going to lean towards Darrell Williams. Theoretically, Jordan Love should give Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs more opportunities. You would think there might be some struggles at times of him moving the change, maybe a turnover here and there. That should give them short fields. That should give them a couple more shots at scoring. That's good because if the average goes up a few times of how many times the offense is going to touch the football for the Chiefs, that means the chances of Darrell Williams scoring a touchdown go up too. I would have probably said 10 minutes ago Gaskin, but now I'm going to say Darrell Williams. Once again, prisoner of the moment. Let's go to Fabian. Excellent name, Fabian Conrad. That sounds like a detective novel character. I like that. He's a guy who solves mysteries, but he himself is a mystery to those around him. He's Fabian Conrad. You can see the movie, by the way. It's coming out next summer. Hey, Joe, thanks for the show. You're welcome. Thanks for being a part of it. Please pick a wide receiver plus a flex position, half PPR, Waddle, Robert Woods, CeeDee Lamb, and CMC. Well, CMC is back. And I'm sorry, if CMC is back, I have to get CMC in my lineup, which leaves us Robert Woods, CeeDee Lamb, because now Waddle kind of falls back to the pack a little bit. In the half PPR, I want the scoring equity. You know what? I think I'd go with Robert Woods, to be honest. The Lamb health is a little concerning. He could always lose a touchdown to Cooper, to Ezekiel Elliott, a lot more mouths to feed there. Not that Henderson and Cooper Kupp aren't that as well, but I love the matchup against Tennessee. Tennessee, God knows what that offense is going to look like. So give me Woods, give me CMC. That's the two I'm going to roll with in the half PPR. There's my wide receiver and my flex. Wolfie! Wolfie says, with Kyler Murray out, who should I start? Matt Ryan, Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence, or Jordan Love? I think Matt Ryan is probably the safest of these guys. I understand New Orleans is a good defense, but at the same time, let's also understand this, that they're not very good against pass this year. So you can throw on them. And God knows the Falcons struggle to run the football. So I imagine you'll see all hands on deck. Patterson, Pitts, you'll get work from Gage and Sharp and Zacchaeus today. I would actually start Matt Ryan and be safe. Trevor Lawrence is a really tough matchup against the Buffalo Bills, and that secondary, it's just a tough one. I know they're at home, but I really, it's the Bills. They've been trashing everybody. And Daniel Jones is always tough. Jordan Love, look, it's just too big of a risk for me. I would just stay safe with Matt Ryan, get my 18 points, and get the hell out of there. Stolat wants to know, oh man, too inactive. I know. Oh man, indeed. Question of the morning is, are we benching Waddle? Look, it depends on what we're benching Waddle for. I think if you're talking matchups, like you look today and Denver's got a good matchup against Dallas, if you want to start Sutton or Judy over Waddle, okay. But I think that's the fringe where we're talking about. And I got to go ahead and make adjustments now to my rankings, which is something I didn't think I'd have to do again. I thought I had it all straight, but now apparently I don't. But I think Waddle's still playable. But now he is definitely more of a low-end wide receiver 3 option as opposed to maybe a low-end wide receiver 2 option, or maybe even a high-end wide receiver 2 this week with some of the buys. Waddle really takes the biggest hit here. But look, it's still Houston. They're still terrible. He's still startable, but is he startable over the guys in Denver? Probably not. I would still probably start him over Tony. I would still probably start him over, I'm trying to think of some other guys too. Probably over Jarvis Landry still, but it's close. Like Landry's another one of those guys you can make the case, especially with Odell gone. Not that Odell did anything, but still, I think you can make the case for it at least. Let's go to the next one here. Happy Dogs. What up, Joey P? What up, Happy Dogs? Everybody likes a happy dog. I mean, really. Nobody likes a sad dog. Sad dogs are depressing. Just ask Sarah McLachlan in those commercials. Very depressing, the sad dogs. By the way, right after this, I'm going to go adopt one. Chris and I are going to go together. My producer, we're going to adopt a dog together. It's going to bring us closer together, I'm sure. What's your thoughts on stashing Trey Lance? Would you cut Cortland Sutton or Chuba Hubbard for him? Well, I think I'm not cutting Cortland Sutton for him, but Chuba, all this depends on your circumstances. Now, if you are the CMC owner and you have Chuba, it's kind of tough to get rid of Chuba. Not that Chuba's been great. He's been uninspiring to say the least, but he's a warm body at running back. But if you are not the CMC owner and you're fighting for your life right now, or you think you got some upside maybe with Trey Lance at some point, then yeah, Hubbard for Lance is something you could take a shot on, I think. So we got a lot of quarterback questions. I know that. So if you want, I will indeed go through the quarterback rankings I have right now, which I just updated right before the show, which again are now changing because 2 is now out. So far I've got Allen at the top, then Matthew Stafford at 2, Lamar Jackson at 3, Patrick Mahomes at 4, Justin Herbert 5, Dak Prescott 6, Joe Burrow at 7, Jalen Hurts at 9, Carson Wentz. I had Jalen Hurts at 8, Carson Wentz at 9 to start the week. Derek Carr at 10, Daniel Jones at 11, Teddy B at 12, Kirk Cousins at 13, and now Kyler Murray, obviously in question here at 14. We'll still wait for official word from Matt. I don't know if we've gotten official word yet. Chris, if we did, let me know, and then I could tell the people. But after that, you got Ryan, Tannehill, Mac Jones, Roethlisberger, Trevor Lawrence. So you're in a tough spot here at quarterback this week. I'm not going to lie. Ben Roethlisberger is looking better and better, which is not great. All right, let's move on here. Let's find something happy, like dogs. Jerry Jeudy or Mike Williams, non-PPR. Ooh, this is a tricky one. I know Mike Williams last few weeks has not been the Mike Williams of the first month of the season, but that was unsustainable. I like the Jerry Jeudy matchup here against Dallas, who gives up a ton of yards. I think I lean towards Jeudy because I think he has decent enough touchdown equity, and this week has a good upside of target volume against Dallas. And Dallas is going to push the football, and Denver might be forced to do so as well. So give me Jeudy in this one because I think Keenan Allen, you're seeing him kind of take over a bigger piece of the pie the last few weeks. But in non-PPR, it's tricky because Mike Williams is typically the red zone guy and all of that. But I think I'm going to play for the floor. I will say this. If you need upside, Mike Williams is the upside play. Jerry Jeudy's a little safer. I lean towards a safer guy most of the time, so give me Jeudy. Chris wants to know, not producer Chris, a real Chris, who spells his name with a C. Not like my producer Chris. Who knows? He's going to change his name to a symbol one day, I heard, but we'll see. It's in part of his negotiations with the company. Half PPR, Julio or Van Jefferson tonight. Goodness. I think Van Jefferson has created a place for himself in this offense. And Van Jefferson was one of my favorite guys. I can't believe we're here and talking about this. I just don't know what the makeup of the Tennessee offense is going to be. I hate the Julio health situation. I'm concerned that if Julio starts this game, does he finish this game? I would probably go at Van Jefferson here. Julio is the superior talent. Julio is a Hall of Famer. But right now, I'm just trying to get some points, and I'm trying to make sure my guy finishes the game. And I think Van Jefferson has done enough the last 2 weeks to make you feel like, all right, he could be a low-end flex play kind of guy. And Julio, just because he starts the game again doesn't mean he finishes it. And that is a risk that I don't think I'm willing to take with my fantasy team. So I'm going to go pass on that one. Debo or Deontay Johnson from Alden wants to know this. Look, Debo ain't healthy. They've been very clear about this. They feel like it's getting worse. So DJ's the play for me. DJ's a good play against the Bears. You know the target volume is going to be there. So let's go. Let's go with Deontay Johnson there. Shakari Easter wants to know, Chase Edmonds or Boston Scott in the standard. In the standard, as much as I've loved the way Chase Edmonds has looked these last few weeks, which has been good, he looks like an RB1. The problem is he doesn't get goal line carries. Boston Scott does. Boston Scott gets the Chargers, one of the worst teams in the NFL against the run. I think you have to play the percentages here. I think you have to, in the standard, play Boston Scott. Hope you get the touchdown and 60 yards and 15 carries. If you get that, you're getting 12 points. You're a happy camper. Who knows? Maybe you'll fall in the end zone for 2, and then you're a really happy camper, and then life is good. Next, a Storms wants to know, Tony or Van Jefferson in PPR. I'm going to go with Tony here. I like that Galladay's back and Tony's back at the same time because that's good for Tony. It's good because the defenses have to account for Kadarius Tony and Kenny Golladay. And Kenny Golladay, although underwhelming this year, is a piece that you have to be aware of. He's a piece on the field that has to be accounted for at all times. I'm sure safety Jonathan Abrams is going to be paying attention to him. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of, don't let Golladay beat us, but you can get the ball and into Kadarius Toney's hand in lots of different ways. I wouldn't be shocked if you saw some jet sweeps with him this week. I wouldn't be shocked if you saw him just handle the football more, especially in the absence of Saquon Barkley. So Kadarius Toney, give me Kadarius Toney, and let's go. I'm gonna die on this hill. If Yates is gonna die on the Rashad Penny hill, then my God, I'm gonna die on the Kadarius Toney hill, who might have more points in that one game against the Cowboys than maybe Rashad Penny's ever had this whole career. But just saying. Facts. Okay, let's go to the next one. Henry Gonzalez, DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle, AJ Brown. Who should I start? I don't love the matchup for AJ Brown against Jalen Ramsey, but AJ Brown is big and physical. I'm concerned with DJ Moore against the Patriots secondary. Jalen Waddle, we all know what's happened here. I think I would still start AJ Brown regardless. I think they're just going to have to force the ball at times to AJ Brown. AJ Brown physically is such a specimen that I think he can basically find ways to get himself open around Jalen Ramsey. As talented as Ramsey is, it's a size differential thing here. AJ Brown is just a monstrous human being. I'm going to go with AJ Brown and the necessity, I think, of Tennessee having to throw the football more. I know it sounds scary, but I also think that's probably the best dude. So give me the best dude. Give me the potential matchup where you absolutely have to play him, and the game script might go your way there because, look, you're playing against the Rams. The Rams are one of the best teams in football, if not the most complete team in football. So they're going to be from behind in this game in any way you stretch it. I can't see another situation. D Strong wants to know, have PPR. Scraping the bottom of the barrel. Oh, good. Carlos Hyde or Freeman? I'll Hyde. That's just, look, Freeman's a couple other guys around there. So for me, I would just go with Hyde, who looks like Robinson's not going to be healthy enough to go. And even if he did go, who knows how much he can actually contribute. Doesn't seem like a good situation. So you know what? Yeah, Carlos Hyde. Let's go. Let's do it. Hamish, Pitts or Gesicki, half-point PPR. It's definitely Pitts, especially with the vacated targets by Calvin Ridley. I know last week was disappointing. Carolina's a good defensive team. They had a good game plan last week for them. Let's turn the page and let's look forward here. New Orleans Saints has trouble guarding guys in the passing game. Give me Pitts, especially now with the downgraded quarterback. T-Tex, start 2 running backs. Mixon, McCaffrey, or Gordon. Bro, if McCaffrey's back, we have to play McCaffrey. We just have to. I know it's like, well, he's in a pitch count. You know what? I'll take the pitch count of McCaffrey over the timeshare of Melvin Gordon anytime. McCaffrey is a superior talent. We haven't seen McCaffrey in forever. Let's get McCaffrey and Mixon on the field together. Boone lost Tua. I'm sorry. Yes, I've been changing a lot of DFS lineups in the last 20 minutes. No bueno. Should I start Mayfield or Tyrod Taylor? Ooh, this is a good one. I would actually start Tyrod Taylor. Miami's defense stinks. Why not start Tyrod? He can run the football a little bit. He can give you some points. He can throw the ball to Brandon Cooks. Let's go. It's going to be an ugly game. I can tell you that much. Next one here. Decoy Gaming wants to know, pick 2, Jerry Jeudy, DJ Moore, or T. Higgins in the half-point PPR. Well, I definitely want Jerry Jeudy. And I think, look, it looks like Darnold is going to play, but he's not healthy. I know he came out of concussion protocol, but the shoulder's still bothering him anyway. Having CMC back, I would imagine it's a little more conservative game plan. I'm going to go with T. Higgins and Jerry Jeudy. I think those are the 2 guys to me that have the best potential for the day. And as you're watching this video, I want to remind you, my self-esteem is very low. So please like this video. It means a lot to me personally. Again, it's very simple. It's a one little click and it makes me just warm and fuzzy inside. And I appreciate you doing that. So take a moment. Chris is not a warm and fuzzy person. He's very prickly. He's been hardened by life. Me, I'm very sensitive. And Chris says, stop telling everybody about you being warm and fuzzy. But I am. I'm like a big koosh ball inside. And if you don't like the video, it just makes me sad. And then we go back to those Sarah McLachlan commercials we mentioned earlier. And that's just a lot to handle right now this early in the morning. So please like the video. We appreciate it. Boom. Oh, look, somebody just liked it there. Oh, look. Oh, and another one. Look at that. So easy to do. Just like the video. All right, let's go next here. Della D. Start Zach Moss or Darrell Williams in standard PPR. I'm going to go with Darrell Williams here. I just don't trust Zach Moss. I don't trust either of these guys, and neither do you, which is why you're asking the question. But with Zach Moss, just too many variables, too many outcomes, not enough integration in the offense that I've seen enough of. A couple one-offs here and there. I think Kansas City's in a good spot here to beat Kansas City again today without Aaron Rodgers on the other end of the field. We shall see, but I think it's at least worth a shot and worth a start. Dylan Ramon. Should I start one of the lesser Ramones, by the way? There was Joey Ramone, there was another Ramone, and then Dylan Ramone, who I think got kicked out of the band. Things went crazy in CBGB one night in the early 80s, and Dylan got kicked out. Now he plays fantasy football. Should I trade T. Higgins and James Conner for Brandon Cooks in full PPR? No, that's way too much. Way too much. Like, Brandon Cooks is okay, but Brandon Cooks already is about the value of T. Higgins. So I don't know, Dylan, if you're cousins with Brandon Cooks or what the situation is, but that's a lot to give up for Brandon Cooks. T. Higgins and James Conner should get you somebody better than T. Higgins, and I think Brandon Cooks and T. Higgins are closer than you think. Next is Pearl PPR, A.J. Dillon or Dearness Johnson. Gross. Dearness Johnson. Let's go. I don't feel good about it, but I'm just going to do it. Dearness Johnson. Travis Ivy wants to know, I assume you mean Van Jefferson, not Van Johnson. Van Johnson, I believe, was an old-timey film actor in the days of Cary Grant and James Cagney. Van Johnson, starring in Mr. Smith Goes Back to Washington. That's a whole different movie. I think you mean Van Jefferson, so I'm going to just guess that. Or Jacoby Myers. I will go with Jacoby Myers because in the pecking order in his offense, he's higher up than Van Jefferson. That's an easy one there. Continuing on, Josh Anderson, Landry, Boyd, or McNichols, half PPR. Let's go with Jarvis Landry. Let's go. Landry healthy. This is a big game for the Cleveland Browns in division here against the Bengals. Coming off a loss. Baker Mayfield's very happy. He's very happy because Odell Beckham and he did not get along. And now he's got just him and Jarvis Landry and Nick Chubb, and that's all you need. It's like in Steve Martin. He needed, in the jerk, all he needed was the remote. That's all he needed. The remote and then this magazine and this chair. That's all he needed. That's Baker Mayfield, who might also be a jerk, ironically, but he's our kind of jerk, and he's still playing football, so we got to make sure we support him a little bit here today. But Jarvis Landry, probably the way that I would go. Boyd and McNichols, just not enough there for me to get excited about. Jackson Matula. Should I start Hopkins or Sutton PPR? Hopkins is not healthy right now. This is not a good situation. I would start Sutton. Good enough matchup that I will start him over Hopkins right now. No bueno for Hopkins. Casey Crampton, also known for his famous concert back in the 70s. Crampton Comes Alive. It's a huge live album. And Chris has given me not one, but 2 head shakes on that one. So in case you're keeping score at home, we're up to 4, and we're only in the first 20 minutes today. Let's go. So Crampton came alive and asked this question: Landry, Tony, or Hunter Renfrow half-point PPR? These are all really good options. I think Landry's probably your safest option. Tony's your biggest upside. Renfrow is very safe, but once again, when you have Waller and you have other options there, Landry is like the option in the pass game. So I would rank it Landry in the order you have it, basically. Landry's the safest. You kind of set it and forget it. If you need bigger, boom, then Kadarius Toney's the way I go. Renfrow is kind of like the guy in between, but he's got more bodies to fight. You got Chubb, you got Landry. That's about it right now with the Cleveland Browns. When you go look at the Raiders, you got Jacobs, you got Drake, you've got Foster Moreau sometimes. You've got Darren Waller. You've got Brian Edwards. This is a lot of variables. I don't like variables. If I can avoid them, and in this case I can. So give me Landry here. Ben Libman, Kirk Cousins, or Jacoby Brissett. Kirk Cousins. Come on now. I know it's Houston, but I can't. No. I know it's terrible. He's Jekyll and Hyde. It's good. It's bad. It's hot and it's cold. It's yes and it's no, but it's Kirk Cousins. This is what it is. All right, moving on. Samantha Weinberg, Darrell Williams, or Boston Scott in the half-point PPR. You know what? I'm going to go continue even in the half with Boston Scott against the Chargers. I just think it's a really good matchup for him. I think they're going to run the football, keep handing that ball off to him, keep Justin Herbert off the field as much as you can, take advantage of that soft run defense for the Chargers. So give me Boston Scott. Once again, less variables, right? Eagles don't have a whole lot of weapons. Boston Scott's touchdown equity is much bigger than Darrell Williams' touchdown equity in theory. In practice, any given Sunday, heck, last week the Jets beat somebody. So you know how that goes. And Mike White did it. So maybe we'll get Mike White game last week and Jordan Love game this week. Who knows? That's why it's fun. But look, we can't set our lineups for fun. We have to set them to win. I think Boston Scott's the guy to win. Let's go next up here. Jeremy. Fields or Brissett in a super flex. 6 point for touchdowns. I think I still lean This is a tougher one here because the Brissett matchup is good enough, but this is a real conversation. And Fields has got a really tough matchup. It's in Pittsburgh on the road. You know what? I think I go with Jacoby Brissett, which is going to force me to drink here. Water. It's just water, everybody. Get your head out of the gutter. Seriously. But yeah, I think against Houston, Brissett can do enough there. I really worried about Fields against Watt and the rest of that defense. That's a good defense, and you're going to put him on the road. Ugh, no, can't do it. All right. Next year, Guillermo Rodriguez wants to know Bateman or Waddle. I would still go with Waddle. I still would, because once again, we're talking about the pecking order, right? Fuller, out. Devontae Parker, out. So all you have left is Gesicki, and all you have left is Waddle. So it's still Waddle for me, and I like Bateman, but I think you got to go with Waddle here. Kyle Price, Hunter Henry, or Pat Freiermuth. Ooh, this is close. This one's an exciting one. I like this. I think I still go to Hunter Henry because it's been very consistent, and I know Pat Freiermuth is like starting to come up there. I have Freiermuth in my rankings right at tight end 1. Hunter Henry's, I think, at 9 for me, or 10. Freiermuth is like at 12 or 13 if memory serves. So we're in a spot there where these guys are very close, but I think I still lean towards Hunter Henry. In fact, I will look at my rankings and I will tell you for sure those numbers because I know they're very important to everybody out there. Hunter Henry I actually have at 7 because, again, I'm a little worried about George Kittle. Freiermuth at 11. So there you have it by a few spots. It's just a safer play, but I like the Freiermuth situation there. If Freiermuth has another good game and Hunter Henry has a very good game, I would consider trading one of them because somebody out there is desperate for tight end play. Let's go to the next one here. TLD 100. Cooks or Thielen in PPR. Cooks is the lone wolf, so I think Cooks, especially with Taylor back. I know Thielen can have those big games too, especially in this matchup against Baltimore, which theoretically should be a good one. But I think I just go with Cooks being the lone wolf, and because Thielen, once again, it's Conklin, it's Jefferson, it's Dalvin Cook. There's lots of different outcomes there. What are the outcome except throwing the ball to Brandon Cooks? That's pretty much been the outcome. So give me Cooks in this one. Greg McDonald, he had a roster, EIO, and on that roster he had Kadarius Toney, he had Khalil Herbert and Boston Scott in the half-point PPR. Scott's your safe play. Now with Montgomery back in the mix and this matchup against Pittsburgh, gross. Tony's your upside play. Herbert has to kind of move to the side, I think. So give me Scott for safety, get your points and get out. If you're already playing from behind after Thursday, or you lost a lot of guys and you're just kind of winging it, Tony might be able to pull you up there. I think Scott's limited, but I think his floor is higher. So give me Scott for floor. Give me Kadarius Toney for the upside. Zach B, PPR. Adrian Peterson or McNichols in the PPR. You know, it's funny. In the PPR, I think this is going to be pretty close. I think Peterson might fall in the end zone. There's definitely that possibility where he gets that. But I think in terms of point total, McNichols would be the way that I would play in the PPR. I think he'll get some work in the passing game. I would imagine him getting 5-6 targets, probably a couple carries as well. In PPR, that should be a nice, ugly 12 points. I think you can get to an ugly 12. And Peterson's more like an ugly 9. I think that's more. And this just in from Chris, our producer, Chris Schefter, as he is known in the business here. James Robinson officially out, so fire up those Carlos Hyde shares. And I'm just seeing this now as well. James Robinson heel will not play. Hopefully he'll get healed up for next week. Number 5 on the head shakes from Chris, my producer. I wish they would put Chris in a small box. Even though nobody likes to put Chris in a corner, I would just want him in a little tiny small box where he just shakes his head and he hates my bad jokes. And, you know, look, this is fun. We're having fun, Chris. Such a fun police. Anyway, Kyle Canada, pride of the nation, full PPR. Pick 2, Emmanuel Sanders, Jerry Jeudy, Smith or Moss. I'm going to go with the first 2. Give me Jerry Jeudy in the matchup and Emmanuel Sanders, hopefully the bounce back week. That's what I'm doing. I'm just keeping this one simple. Justin M. Joe, please help. I will try. Pick 1, half PPR. Julio Jones, Bateman, or Tajay Sharp. Oh, God, I feel like you do. Probably whatever we pick is going to be wrong. I don't think we can chase Tajay Sharp of last week. I don't. I've seen that story before. I don't think I can do it. I think I would roll the dice here with Julio and hope for the best. That's what I think I would do. And I like Bateman. I still feel like Bateman's still limited. I don't know how much touchdown equity he has. Julio in this matchup against the Rams, there might be necessity. He's back on the field. good enough to play in this scenario with these other two guys that you're giving me. I think I roll the dice with Julio, but if you're feeling really uncomfortable with that, at the end of the day, I don't think Bateman's a bad play. I think Tajay Sharp could be a bad play, and I can't take zeros. I can't take goose eggs. So you don't know if it's going to be Gage, could be Zacchaeus this time. It could be just Patterson and Pitts. A lot going on there. Let's go to Kyle. Kyle next wants to know Marvin Jones Jr. or Jalen Waddle in the half-point PPR. I hate the Jones matchup against the Bills, so give me Waddle in the half-point PPR still. That's a good one. That's about where you're at. You're looking at, you're like, well, do I want Marvin Jones or Waddle? I don't want Marvin Jones against the Bills. I want nothing to do with that secondary. Marv the Martian wants to know standard league for flex position. A.J. Dillon, Carlos Hyde, Scott, or Donovan Peoples-Jones. Hyde is getting all the run, but the problem is game script. Problem is, how much of that run does he get? I go with Boston Scott still. Still give me Boston Scott of the Eagles. Josh Meyer, excuse me, either one. Both of them, actually. Chase Edmonds or Boston Scott, full PPR. This is another tough one here, too, because you're talking about the floor and the ceiling and Chase Edmonds losing touchdown equity. Look, Ty goes to touchdowns, and Chase Edmonds scoring touchdowns has been a tough thing for him this year. They're all going to Connor or Murray or other guys. So as good as Chase Edmonds looks sometimes, he's limited. Boston Scott, I think, has a really good chance to get in the end zone, so I'm going to still, even in the full point PPR, go Boston Scott today. And that's an unpopular opinion, but what are you going to do? Next year, Dan Ryan wants to know, hey, Joe, sent you a like. See, thank you, Dan. See, look already. So happy. Send those likes. Like this video. It's very easy to do. Who do you like in half PPR? Henderson or A.J. Brown? I assume we're talking Darrell Henderson here. So give me the running back, Darrell Henderson. That is easy. Darrell Henderson all day, every day. Chicago Bears fan, drop McKissick for McNichols. Yeah, you could do that. I mean, it's kind of lateral. They're kind of the same guy. I will say this. If you have Antonio Gibson, no. Keep McKissick because it matters more to you. But if you don't, you're really good at running back, you want to take a shot at McNichols, see what he does, I'm okay with that, especially if you need to play somebody today with Washington being on a bye. I'm okay with that. Zachy wants to know, he's giving me lots of pieces of pizza because he thinks it's the first time I've ever heard somebody say pizza to me because my last name is Joe Pisapia, and it's fun when people discover that for the first time and think that I've never heard it. It's adorable. Next, pick one here from Zachy. Zachy wants to know, flex half PPR, Eli Mitchell, Julio, Sutton, Adrian Peterson, Renfro, Bateman, or Mike Davis. I think Sutton's the best guy of this bunch. I think he gives you the floor and the ceiling. If you want to go with the running back, then Eli Mitchell would be the way I would go there. I'm a little worried with what happens now with Jeffrey Wilson kind of back in the mix there. I don't know. All I can tell you is this. Eli Mitchell's been very good. There's no reason to go away from Eli Mitchell. If you just want to get a floor and get your points, Eli Mitchell's fine. Sutton, to me, has the most upside for a bigger day against Dallas in that pass defense. Dylan Ramon, again, back for more. Should I start T. Higgins or Jarvis Landry? I think you start Jarvis Landry today, actually. Once again, just less variables. He's the guy. Go with Landry. Chris Merrill, McNichols, Judy, or Moore. I assume DJ Moore. Flex PPR. My favorite guy in this mix is Judy in the matchup. It is. And DJ Moore is the better, receiver, quote unquote, talent wise that you would want to start. But I think I go with Jerry Judy here. I think Judy's my guy in this matchup. I know last week a little underwhelming, but first game back in a while. Let's see how he does against the Dallas secondary, which I think will be better. Actually, I just think we're in a better spot there. Stephen Jones, Najee Harris, or Dalvin Cook in DraftKings PPR, better floor or ceiling. Well, I guess you're playing some weird wraparound slate, which I would not recommend doing because you're adding more variance in when you're starting to add the Rams and Tennessee and Pittsburgh. But if you're going to play that, I think you go with Najee, who I believe is cheaper on DK in that slate if memory serves, than Dalvin Cook, save a couple bucks and try to upgrade somewhere else. That's probably what I would do. I know we're hearing that Dalvin Cook's going to get more play in this game and more run in this game and all that, and that's great. I'd love to see it. But I got to see it first before I believe in it. So it's tough to invest in without seeing it. But Najee Harris has been really solid. Waddle or Tony? Please help. Waddle for floor, Tony for upside, but Waddle's the safer play this week beyond a shadow of a doubt. Richard wants to know, Boss Joe, Ertz or Kittle in the PPR? Well, look, with the health being in question right now of Hopkins, one would think Ertz has some more upside to catch the football. Ertz is already at 14 for me at tight end. I've got Kittle higher even on the pitch count, so I think I still lean towards Kittle here. It's closer than people might realize. Once you get past the first 5 tight ends, after that, it gets really tight. But I think for me, I would still play Kittle if Kittle's back on the field. You got to take the shot while he's healthy again. This is a good problem to have, though, which means that maybe you should trade one of them. Hey, Joe, this is from Aaron. Aaron W. wants to know week 9, Mayfield or Jacoby Brissett or Tannehill for week 9. You might get the most garbage points from Tannehill. That's the thing I'm thinking about right now. Like none of these options are pretty, but Tannehill is going to be forced to throw the football today, which could lead to turnovers, but it could also lead to a big passing total. So I kind of think in a way, Tannehill might be the best bet here because Mayfield could be in a tight game here. Could be more of a ground and pound kind of situation anyway. He's not very healthy. Brissett's just coming back into this fold here to start today's game, although Houston's a good matchup. I think I start Tannehill. Rolando. Rolando wants to know half PPR. Pick 2, DJ Moore, T. Higgins, Robert Woods, Jerry Jeudy, and Brandon Cooks. All right, we'll start with this one. I'm going to take Brandon Cooks in this grouping, and I'm going to take Robert Woods. They're the safest. They have floor. They have upside. They have touchdown equity. They have all the things I like. His second question is, in the flex spot, third wide receiver. Oh, wait, this is a weird question. Flex spot, third wide receiver, or Darrell Williams? I think I go with Jeudy, actually, in PPR. I think that's where I'm going to go in the PPR. I'm going to go with all the wide receivers and sit Darrell Williams. Next up here, and Chris will hopefully load some more of your questions up for me so I can see them very quickly. He's now nodding his head yes, and then immediately no, which now we're up to 6. So we might have a record today on our hands. It's 11:35 East Coast time. You could be seeing history. Forget Tom Brady, 600 touchdowns. It's the disapproving head nods of my producer, Chris. That is the record I'm searching for. I think the number is 7, but we're on a good pace here. I like where we're at. All right, let's go to Lucas here. Lucas says, Joe, save me. I will do my best, Lucas. Lucas wants to know Elijah Mitchell or Melvin Gordon PPR. I got to keep rolling with Elijah Mitchell till otherwise. And I know it's getting more complicated, and Kyle Shanahan's always tough to trust. I get it, but I think it's going to be Elijah Mitchell for me. Over Melvin Gordon. Jody Myers wants to know full PPR. Pick 1, Moss, Jeudy, or Landry. Landry is the safest one. I will go with Landry. Landry and Judy's very close. I got no time for Zach Moss. I don't care if it's wrong. I don't care. He could have 3 touchdowns today, and I will be at peace with that. I just can't feel good about starting Zach Moss. Daniel wants to know Khalil Herbert, Darrell Williams, Elijah Mitchell. Again, it's Elijah Mitchell still. I think he's earned that. I think Elijah Mitchell's earned. Now, Jeffrey Wilson might get some carries here, but I think we've seen enough where we know they're going to run the football out of control anyway, so that's okay. If Jeffrey Wilson all of a sudden gets into a timeshare and you're worried about that, okay, now we're in a problem. But here's the thing. The other 2 guys are in timeshares too. Elijah Mitchell has a better matchup, in my opinion. I don't like Khalil Herbert on the road against Pittsburgh. Darrell Williams, again, so many variables with the Chiefs. So many. It's very tough to gauge. So he is not safe either. So Elijah Mitchell is the safest, and I think maybe the best option you have here. Pack Clutch, pick 2, Debo, A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson. Don't mind if I do. I will pick Debo and Justin Jefferson. Next, Ted Chen wants to know, I lost 2 of this week. Do I take the safe route and take Brissett? And take my chances with Jordan Love? Wow, when Brissett is the safe route, that is something to behold. I think you do. I think if Brissett's the safe guy, then or the safer option, I don't know what else is on that waiver wire. I can only assume this is super flex. Then that's what we're looking for, or something like that. But yeah, Brissett over Jordan Love for me. I haven't seen Jordan Love play. Again, Jordan Love could have a Mike White game against the Chiefs. It is not out of the range of outcomes that how bad the Chiefs have been, that we could turn around and see that game and go, wow, look at that. Look at him. Look at Jordan Love go. What a fantastic thing. Maybe they should turn the page and move away from Aaron Rodgers. But it's a question mark. We're not 100% sure if that's something that we want to bet on, something we want to put our fantasy investments in. Therefore, I'm going to go with Brissett against Houston. If it was Brissett against I don't know, like the Rams, I might feel a little differently, but it's not. It's against Houston. Zachary B, Brown or Thielen? I still go AJ Brown over Thielen. It's close. I know the matchup sucks, but I'm still gonna go with AJ Brown. David Lee, Tyrod Taylor, or Kyler Murray? That's tricky. I think this one's gonna get decided for you pretty soon. I don't think we have an update yet on Kyler Murray. I will check on that as we're going through here, but Kyler Murray's not 100%. There's no doubt about that. But Kyler Murray's on the field. It's really tough not to roll with Kyler Murray. It's just very difficult. I'm checking right now to see if I see anything else here that we've seen in the last 5 minutes. So far, no update there. I think if he's on the field, you still got to roll with Kyler Murray because it's such a vast difference. You're going from a top 5 quarterback to a guy on the fringe of QB2. And, Taylor's not terrible. But if Kyler Murray's out, Tyrod Taylor's perfectly good guy to sub in and hope for the best. No moves on Murray that I've seen. Chris, maybe you could check if you've seen any updates on Murray for us. We can get that. Chris Lowe wants to know half PPR CJ Uzoma or Dalton Schultz. Going to go with Dalton Schultz here. I know Gallus back, and that's scaring everybody, but Uzoma is so up and down. So I got to go with Schultz over CJ here. Tyler next. My man Joe. My man Tyler. Love you, man. Standard League. Should I start George Kittle, given the limited amount of snaps he will play, or Pat Freiermuth and hope for a TD? Look, I think the hoping for a TD from Pat Freiermuth is not an impossibility. I think it's actually okay. I would look at the rest of your lineup and see what you can handle here. There's volatility in both of these guys. If you're afraid of playing George Kittle, you can play Freiermuth, and I don't think it's going to be bad. It's going to be around, give or take, 10 points. Kittle with the even pitch count still can get you a fair amount. Actually, personally, again, on the rankings, I have Kittle higher, but it wouldn't shock me if he ended up with less points than Freiermuth. I would still play Kittle, but if you don't, I don't think it's a bad thing. Like I said, once you get past those first 5 guys at tight end, it's all one clump, as I like to call it. Next year, no update yet on Kyler Murray, by the way, folks. We'll get you one if we get one anytime soon here. Will wants to know Jerry Jeudy or Robert Woods, full PPR. Even in the look, as much as I love Jeudy, you still got to go with Robert Woods here in the full PPR against that Tennessee defense that is bad. Jimbo Slice. I like this name. This is good. Jimbo Slice wants to know CMC, Darrell Williams, or Javonte Williams. If CMC is playing, you have to play CMC. Pitch count, no pitch count, doesn't matter. Squirrel 13, Daniel Jones, Teddy B, or dare I say, Big Ben. I like Teddy B's matchup here today against Dallas Cowboys. I do. Daniel Jones always scares the crap out of me. I have him very close in rankings. I feel safer about Teddy B. Daniel Jones is the better fantasy quarterback. Big Ben is just that safe option to go with, but I think Teddy B is actually the way I would go this week for lineup's sake. If you need a little bit more upside, you could roll with Daniel Jones. That's fine, but I think Teddy B is right there with him. CMC or Cordero Patterson, half-point PPR. And Gareth, now we've got ourselves a question. I can't sit a top 10 running back and a top 10 wide receiver. That man is Cordero Patterson. He is top 10 in both in half-point PPR this year. I can't sit him. So you need to find another way to get CMC in your lineup, but not at Cordero Patterson's expense. You still got to roll with Patterson. He's going to get a lot of work today. Matt wants to know, Matt Crane, do I start Debo or Tony in full point PPR? I understand the hesitancy with Debo and the injury concern, but it's not like Tony is completely healthy either. He's playing. He's back on the field. That's a good thing. But to me, I think where we're at right now, I think it's still good. It's Debo's playing. You got to start Debo. I think that's still the way, and I'll continue to monitor as we go through here. But I don't know. If Debo's on the field, it's hard to take Debo out of a lineup. And I love Tony. Everybody knows I'm the Tony guy, but Debo's still a top 10 option. He's still got to consider him a top 10 option. But for some reason, we get a word here. Let's see. Let's check the times of everything here too, just so I have this correct here. Because the Giants are in the 1:00 hour today. Yes, that is correct. Yeah. So you're not going to, you would hope you would know by now, but you might not. So if you're worried about him being a game time decision, which we haven't heard that's going to be the case yet, but if you hear that in the next hour, or things are going in the wrong direction, then just play Tony and get out of there. But if he's in, you got to play him, and it looks like he's going to be in. Paul says, Joe, you the man, Paul. You the man. I'm nothing without you guys and all my likes. So please give me more likes. Got to keep pushing me up there. Need 2 for the PPR. Devontae Adams, A.J. Brown, Cooks, and Sanders. I know it's tough to see Jordan Love. I can't take Devontae Adams out. I just can't do it. I can't do it, not against Kansas City. I got to hope for the best there. But that being said, I'm going to play safer with my second one. So I'm going to play Adams. He's my risk. And I'm going to play Cooks. He's my safeguard. Sanders is too volatile. A.J. Brown with a tough matchup. Too much. I don't want to go with 2 of those guys who are risky. I don't want to go and not give myself enough floor either. So give me Adams, give me Cooks, a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. And again, if you want to ask a question, subscribe to our YouTube channel here at Fantasy Pros. We will go ahead and again allow you to ask any question you want of me, football related, life related, entertainment related. It doesn't matter. We're here. We'll full service. So if you have more questions, pop them in there. And I'm going to take a quick break. In the meantime, enjoy this music that's playing in Chris's head. Did you get that music? Some beautiful music right there. All right, let's move on here to the next one. We've got GE, choose 2 half-point PPR. Kadarius Toney, Waddle, Woods, or Sanders. The late question marks are scaring me. Yes, I can understand that. Waddle and Woods, I think, is just if you just want to be in there and get it done. Waddle and Woods gets it done. Toney, Sanders, again, I love Toney. It's too much questions. Waddle and Woods. Plus, it sounds like a bad law firm. I like if have you slipped and hurt yourself? Waddle and Woods can help you. Are you promised more money and you're not getting it? Call Waddle and Woods. Waddle and Woods will be there for you and get you your cash settlement today. That is an unofficial read. That is not an actual sponsor of the show. I'm just giving some love to Waddle and Woods. Let's move to Chris's question. Chris would like to know, Jordan Love or Teddy Bridgewater? Had Tua, he's out. Have Murray, he might not play. Thanks for the Judy call. Bring the snap back. Loved it. Well, look, it's a very warm temperature costume. And Chris already told me that I should bring the mask back at all times. But that was just not very nice. Again, you see what I deal with here? And yet I still show up to work every day. There you go. Another head shake from Chris. Now we're up to 6. All right. Or is it 5? Let's call it 6. Let's go with Teddy Bridgewater today. I would go with Bridgewater, and if you have to end up starting Love too, who knows? Stranger things have happened, but at least Bridgewater against the Cowboys is something you can live with. Jep wants to know, my team is broken. Oh, Jep, I feel your pain, man. I have a broken team too, and of course, it's the most important league for me personally. It's a pride league that is something that I take very seriously because of who's in it with me. And you know what? That team is broken. So we all have broken teams. This happens. We all hopefully have some good ones too. You need one. Standard, Toney, Jarvis, or Rondell Moore. Jarvis Landry is the safer option here. But if your team is broken and you want to roll the dice and have some fun, Kadarius Toney it up, baby. Woo! Let's go. AJ Nene says, should I drop Trey Lance? You can. If there's something out there that can help you, sure. Absolutely. Robbie Vernarva? Yeah. Or Vernova. Robbie Vernova. Robbie V. Robbie V would like to know, Toney, Claypool, or Mike Williams full point PPR. Ooh, this is a trickier one here. Gosh, they're all kind of the same. Let's break them down here. You do have Pittsburgh against Chicago. Claypool's got good touchdown upside there. Mike Williams trending in a bad direction. Decent matchup against the Eagles. And Kadarius Toney against the Los Angeles Raiders. I think Toney has the most upside of any of these guys. I think Claypool has the best floor in the full point PPR because I think he brings a lot of touchdown equity against Chicago specifically. I'm a little worried about Mike Williams right now. And I know like a month ago, everybody was loving life about Mike Williams, but this is the thing. We learn the up and down. Now, Mike Williams can bounce back, but I guess the question we got to ask ourselves, who's trending in the right direction? Claypool's trending in a good direction. Williams trending in a bad direction. Toney's more of that unknown. So Claypool's kind of the guy that the one you feel safer about. I think I would go with Claypool, but Toney and Williams, again, more of the upside play. Take a look at your lineup. Take a look at your opponent. See what you can handle. Casey and Williams, flex for a full point PPR, Judy, Damian Harris, or Waddle. I assume it's Damian Harris and not Deontay Harris. Maybe I shouldn't assume that. I don't know. If it's Deontay Harris, bro. If it's not, then let's see. Judy or Waddle in this one. I still think Waddle in the full point PPR has the highest floor of anybody because Judy does still fight with other people. So give me Waddle, but it's very close. But if it's Damian Harris, Probably Damian Harris over all of them because they are committed to running the football in New England. AKA Bloody. Hey, Joe, send you a like from Germany. Yeah, see, international likes, Chris. See what we get here? Not just domestic, it's international likes. Me. That's right. The more likes I get, the more upset Chris gets. It's great. So just keep liking them all. Just keep smashing that like button because Chris is like, stop liking Joe because he becomes unbearable Monday mornings. We said, look how many likes I got. And Chris goes like this, enough of you. You're the worst. All right, let's move on and help our German friend here. Need help at the running back and full point PPR pick 2. Adrian Peterson, Khalil Herbert, Singletary, Howard, Wilson, his return. It's not good. You're right. This is terrible. I can't roll with Howard. Wilson just came back, and although I would love to say Wilson, it's not time yet. We have to see. And Kyle Shanahan could screw everybody who has Wilson. He could screw everybody who has Mitchell. He could screw both of us at the same time. Peterson and Herbert is probably what I would go with here. Peterson falling in the end zone is still the script that I'm writing out there. I think it's very possible. Herbert has looked very good. It's a terrible matchup against Pittsburgh, but at the same time, they're going to keep feeding him the football even with Montgomery back. So Peterson and Herbert is where I would go, but hope that Wilson, honestly, if Wilson's on your bench and he goes off, that's great because now next week you won't have this problem anymore. Tequila Mockingbird, one of my good friends over in the Fantasy Pros Discord, which by the way, get in there. And again, I'm sorry everybody who is in my AMA channel. I took a couple of days off. I told you I was going to be away a couple of days. I see all the questions piling up. I told you I'd be here on the live stream answering them, but the Discord is a great place. If you haven't already checked it out, it's free to join, but when you upgrade, you can get into those stages things where you can actually talk with me directly, ask questions about your team. We have a great time on those. These are dozens of other channels that are open to you. And that's fantasypros.com/chat. Check it out. It's super fun. It's never too late to join the party. And it is a party. It is a great community of people who love fantasy football, and all of us analysts at Fantasy Pros get in there. It's a great time. Tequila is one of our favorite people over there. Emmanuel Sanders or Jerry Jeudy in the full point PPR. You know what I'm going to say. Jerry Jeudy all day. Emmanuel Sanders. Go ask Dan Harris if you wanted the answer to be Emmanuel Sanders. Paul, would I play T. Higgins or Waddle? I would probably play T. Higgins with the Tua news now, so I'll have to go make some adjustments here and there. But yeah, I'd still play T. Higgins over Waddle in this one. I think Waddle can still be playable, but I think T's in a better spot with Joe Burrow. Greg, Mike Davis, Melvin Gordon, or Adrian Peterson. Give me Melvin Gordon. It ain't pretty, but that's what the answer is. Josh, Landry, or Waddle. Again, this comes back to the safety net, right? Jarvis Landry is the guy there. So Jarvis Landry, because Jarvis Landry, that's why. Just because. No, but honestly, when you're looking at the stats here, it's a good matchup with Houston. The last minute quarterback change. We've seen Waddle be okay at times with Brissett and then less than okay with Brissett. So it's up and down. We know when Landry and Baker Mayfield are on the field together and there's no Odell Beckham chirping and there's no problems, that's a very beneficial relationship. So all joking aside, Landry's a safer play. Landry has some touchdown upside in this game. Let's go with Landry. Next, Derek Carr, Tannehill. Derek Carr is a safer play by a mile here. Tannehill, who knows what the outcome of this game against the Rams is going to be, but for me personally, I would still take Derek Carr. That's the way I would go. Take your points and get out. My old friend Dan Harris used to say that. Joe, take your points and get out. Now, it's funny because he only took up smoking recently, and that's when he started being really philosophical. So when you see him coming up after me, stick around here on the channel, and who knows, maybe he'll be smoking a pipe and wearing a smoking jacket. Maybe it's a whole thing. Maybe it's just like a whole new Dan Harris who's a little bit more, I don't know, just like cultured Dan Harris smoking a pipe and perhaps wearing an ascot. Look, these are things that I hope for. I get dressed up for this show for all of you. Knowing Dan, he's probably wearing a hoodie and a cap. Meanwhile, here I am wearing a tie, bringing it. And Dan, by the way, also in the green room now, tells me I'm number one, which was awesome. Now, that's not the finger he used, but I can only assume he still means number one. Let's move on with more of your questions here. Let's go with Richard's question. If Kyler is out, Brissett, Jimmy G, or McCoy? No, don't even say that. It's like Voldemort. Don't say his name around here. Unfortunately, the answer is probably still Jimmy G here. Gross, hate it. Don't want to get into it too much. Got too many more to answer here before I get out. But yeah, that's the way I would go. It's just, you got to take the guy who's been practicing with the team all week, who knows what the game plan is, and who knows what happened here with Brissett, how that's all worked in or how it hasn't. And we've seen enough Brissett to understand what he is. Aaron Fox would like to know, half PPR, Higgins or Kadarius Toney in the flex? Once again, same thing, broken record, but it's okay. I don't know when anyone joined the chat here. T. Higgins is your floor guy. Kadarius Toney is, I need more upside. I need more boom. Galladay being back is not a negative. Let me reiterate this. I said at the top of the show, I'm going to say it again here. It's not a negative. Galladay being on the field is great for Toney because it allows Toney to work the middle of the field, allows him to be open in space, and get at least some attention from the safety over and help with Kenny Galladay, because Kenny Galladay is a big-bodied wide receiver. Not that Daniel Jones can see him, but he is. So it's something the defense has to account for. My guess would be Abram would get a lot of attention over there potentially. Jonathan Abram, a really good player. Probably a lot of attention would be paid to Kenny Galladay by him, which is a really good thing potentially for Toney. But the floor is still way better, I think, for T. Higgins. Next year, Cordero Patterson or Adam Thielen in PPR. That's from Martin. Listen, Martin, again, Cordero Patterson. He's a top 10 running back in scoring, has almost as many points as Devontae Adams in half PPR. He is a top 10, wide receiver. He's a top 10 running back in scoring, right around Ezekiel Elliott's point total. You can't take Cordero Patterson out. Vacated targets, on top of which he gets carries, he gets receptions. I know New Orleans is a tough defense, but they're playing with Trevor Siemian today. They're very good against the run. He'll still probably get 5 to 10 carries, but he's going to get the targets. That's what we want. Touchdown equity he's got. Thielen, part of the Jekyll and Hyde Vikings, which is very frustrating. I can't take Patterson out. I'd like to start Thielen as well. If you can start Thielen, go start him too. Figure out what the lineup looks like. I think he's decent enough to roll the dice with against Baltimore, but for me, it's Cordero Patterson. We can't take Patterson out of lineups anymore. He's a league winner this year. We can just say it already. Next is Ian. Jordan Love or Kirk Cousins? It's Kirk Cousins still. I mean, yes, he could have a Mike White kind of game. That is not impossible. He could throw up for 400 yards against the Kansas City defense, and we're all looking at each other. Well, look at that. And then Aaron Rodgers can come back and Aaron, move on next year. We found again. Kirk Cousins infuriating. Baltimore. Kirk Cousins. Second or Mike Andrews. Excuse me, not definitely Andrews. It's not really close. I'm not sure if you're continuing to figure that out. Andrews playing that one for me. First, I don't see the streak out anymore, so I'm just going to say this out loud. If you can see it, if not, give me a thumbs up. Oh, he gave me that same finger again. Oh, good. Okay, great. Anyway, let's move on here to the next one. I'm just going to keep answering these. Off chance you can hear it still. Yeah, I think we can, from what I'm being told. Next year, PR Sports wants to know, hey, Joe, Jimi Hendrix voice. Hey, Joe, where are you going with that flex spot in your hand? Full PPR, pick 2. Well, tell everybody I said hi and let Dan go talk. Oh, hey, you sound terrible. You okay? Oh, hey, I'm on again. Yay, look at me. I'm on. Hi, everybody. Back again. So let's go back to Hey Joe, which, again, one of my favorite tunes, obviously. Full PPR, pick 2. Debo, Chubb, Henderson. The Debo injuries, enough of a scaring off point where Chubb and Henderson just go get your points. I think Chubb is in for a big day today. Henderson, great matchup against Tennessee. Let's not play the variables too much with the Debo health. Al wants to know, Freeman, Howard, or Bateman, non-PPR? Ugh, gross. I have no faith in Jordan Howard, and that's a smart thing. Freeman, little faith, and then Bateman, who I'm excited about, but I don't love the format. However, despite his groin issue and the health of Bateman, I think I'm going to still go with Bateman here. I'm going to try to get some points, try to get in there. I understand you're not going to get the point for the reception. I understand it becomes a little touchdown dependent. Who knows? maybe we see after the bye week a new Rashad Bateman that comes out and gets even more work. It's possible. The other guys, it's kind of lame. I mean, Freeman might be that guy. If you just want to play it safe, okay, I got no problem with that. But Howard's definitely further down the trough here. Chris wants to know, full PPR, Bateman, Boyd, or McNichols? In the full PPR, once again, I think Bateman becomes the more intriguing one. Boyd's very concerning, and McNichols, I just don't know how that's going to react. So give me Bateman. I like the trending in the right direction. Tanner, Sutton, or Tony. Sutton has a really good matchup. Sutton's safe. Tony's the upside. Simple there. 0.3 point PPR and full point for first down reception. Why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you doing this to yourself? Why do you do these things? What is this? I was like, maybe it's like watching somebody order at Starbucks with a very pretentious order. I want the half calf latte with a no calf with a half skim and something like that. What are you doing? Just half or full? Stop with these strange 0.2.5 PPR nonsense. Nicholas King would like to know, CJ or Jared Cook. I would go with Cook here. Just safer floor. Get in there, get your points, get out. He's got some touchdown equity. CJ is either number 1 tight end or tight end 27. I can't live with that. I can't live with zeros. Daniel S., help me. Elijah Mitchell or Tony? Worried about getting a goose from Mitchell if he's hurt. I can understand that. I get the Wilson situation. And if that concerns you, then just play Tony. Do it. It's fine. You can get away with that. Iggs wants to know, Paisan, hey, my people, how you doing? Woods or Callaway? Oh, it's definitely Woods. It's not even close. I don't care what the format is. It's all Robert Woods all day. And I'm about out of here. So we're going to save the rest of your questions for the one, the only Dan Harris, who, like I said, is either wearing an ascot, smoking jacket, pipe, the whole thing, perhaps his hair done up, or he's going to be in a hoodie with his baseball cap. One of the two is true. I'll let you decide by sticking around next. And remember, you can only ask Dan Harris a question if you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Fantasy Pros, youtube.com/Fantasy Pros. It is so nice to virtually speak to all of you again. I'm refreshed. I'm ready for the second half of the football season. I hope you are too. So we'll be back with Dan Harris to answer more of your questions for the next hour right here on Fantasy Pros. We'll see you soon, everybody, and I'll see you Monday for the pod.
Perfect.